Because I just gotta kill some time before I have to go do some stuff today. So get on this for a little bit, do a little bit watching some stuff, and you see, we're gonna say these department stores that are forgotten. When was this uploaded? Besides Kmart being gone and Sears, what else?
Welcome to the Lost World! Your breath, dude. You gotta brush more.
Oh, November. So okay, November of the last year.
Top 10 Forgotten Department Stores here in the United States for Halloween. America loves its restaurants and shops, but they are not always permanent. As times change, so do merchants around the world. Some are bought, and some just disappear. Here are some of the chains that have come through the United States. Before we start the video, please subscribe to this channel
They
and
say
ring the bell icon so you never miss an
Kmart's
update.
still around. It just based in the U.S. though. Hey, Kmart's still around, guys, in Australia.
10. Bradley's.
Heard of it?
The Bradley's department store, popularly known as Bradley's, was
I know
a department
Bradley's.
store located in Braintree, Massachusetts, operating mainly in the northeastern United States. At its peak in 2000, Bradley's operated more than 105 stores
Bradley's
in
everywhere.
7 states across the Northeast, with approximately 10,000 employees, as well as being part of Stop and Shop from 1961 to 1992. The series went on in Chapter 11 with a bang. In
Nope,
2000,
Stop Shop's still around.
all its stores were closed on March 15, 2001. The Bradleys was renamed Bradley International Airport in Connecticut, where the first meetings were held and maintained the store's founders. The first store opened in New London, Connecticut on March 14, 1958. The company was acquired by Stop and Shop in 1961, which ran the series until 1992. 9. S. Klein.
Never heard of it.
S. Klein on the Square, or simply S. Klein, was a popular New York City-based retail store. The best shops, a large building, and a fashion house
I'm
for women
sad.
were located in Union Square East in Manhattan. This place will meet the 1920s idiomatic catchphrase "in the square" to provide a subtitle. S. Klein positioned himself a step above the regional discount stores of his time, which knew more about fashion than others. S. Klein stores were full-line stores, including furniture doors, fur salons, and fully stocked pet doors. Russian-born Samuel Klein founded S. Klein in 1905,
So it's kind of like
or
Montgomery
about
Park Ward.
1912, in the area of Union Square East between 14th and 15th Streets. The place has been empty since the store closed in 1976, and the neon sign announcing S. Klein on the square is complete, and their Carpenter's logo was still in 2012. At the end of 2012, the Newark Planning Board approved Prudential Insurance Company's proposal to build a new 20-story office building on the S. Klein building, along with other tall abandoned buildings. S. Klein was demolished in late July 2013.
Aww.
8. Woolworth. Woolworth store was opened by Frank Winfield Woolworth on February 22, 1879, as Woolworth's Great 5-Cent Store in Utica, New York.
Didn't
The
someone buy
original
them?
operated as a dime and dime store, which sold discounted general merchandise and fixed price, usually 5 or 10 cents, undercutting the prices of other local merchants. In 1910, Frank Woolworth commissioned the design and construction of the Woolworth Building in New York City. Woolworth eventually grew out to a discount department chain. By the 1960s, it competed with Target, Walmart, Kmart, and others. After a further decline in business, Woolworth shifted mostly to athletic wear and is known today as Foot Locker. 7. Parisian. Parisian started in Birmingham in the 1970s as it began opening stores outside Birmingham. They first opened a store at Gateway Shopping Center in Decatur, Alabama, and then expanded to Park City Mall in Huntsville, Alabama. In the mid-1980s, Parisian had a total of 13 stores in Alabama. Its first two stores outside of Alabama were located in Florida at Cordova Mall in Pensacola and at Sarasota Square Mall, now known as Westfield Sarasota Square in Sarasota. In 1996, Profits bought the 38 Parisian store chain, who are also the ones that purchased department stores Yonkers and McRae's 2 years prior. In 1998, Profits purchased the Saks Fifth Avenue chain and changed its name to Saks Incorporated. Saks then sold Parisian to Belk in 2006, ending the chain's existence. 6. Mervyn's.
Never heard of Mervyn's.
Mervyn G. Morse founded Mervyn's first store in San Lorenzo, California on July 29, 1949. Mervyn's was located in the center of San Lorenzo Village, an organized community between the towns of Hayward and San Leandro, built of 2 and 3 room tractor houses built between 1944 and 1950. Mervyn has proven itself to be a low-cost, non-profit retailer, which allows the store to be able to buy more
That's
products
what
than
check. It
competing
says
stores.
Joseph. That's what I think.
Mervyn's also donated basic seconds to the factory spaces such as jeans, t-shirts, underwear, and similar clothing, with minor and undetectable errors. Before moving at number 5, we have a good offer for you. Just go below, tap the red subscribe button, hit that tiny bell, and you will get 10 years of good luck. And it costs you nothing but 5 seconds. Why don't you try one? 5. Upton's. So at number 5, we have Upton's opening at Roswell Mall in Roswell, Georgia in 1985. 2 stores were later opened in other parts of Atlanta. In 1987, Upton's acquired 14 stores in Myers-Arnold of Greenville, South Carolina.
Miles Arnold in
In
Carolina.
July 1999,
Wouldn't it be
the
classified?
American Retail Group decided
Meyer
that carrying
is in
Upton's chain
Michigan, not
was
Grand
too
Rapids. That-
expensive. By
Carolina.
2000, the series had closed its last 75 stores. At the time, the American Retail Group also owned a property retailer, Maurice's Incorporated, Eastern Mountain Sports Incorporated, Sportswear Series, and The Hub Incorporated, which included Miller's Outpost clothing chains, most Levi Outlets, most Dockers Outlet, and Anchor Blue.
Anchor Blue.
4. Service Merchandise. It was founded in 1934 by Harry and Mary. The first of these turned out to be a series of showrooms that opened in 1960 on Broadway in Nashville, Tennessee. The old logo was widely used in the 1970s through to 1985. In the 1970s and 1980s, Service Merchandise was a leading catalog retailer. At its peak, the company had earned more than $4 billion in annual sales. As the company expanded, it began to open exhibition halls throughout the country, especially in shopping malls, which were popular in the 1970s. In the early 1980s, Service Merchandise headquarters moved from Nashville to nearby Brentwood, Tennessee, and became one of the first businesses to grow in what is now called Cold Springs. In May 1985, Service Merchandise received H.J. Wilson Company about $200 million. Raymond Zimmerman, the chief executive, was lured by Wilson's shops to secure a place in Sunbelt. Several of Wilson's estates included a door for clothing that could not be used for more than 15,000 square feet or 1,400 meters. Service Merchandise also had other subsidiary companies, such as Zim's Jewelers, Homeowners Warehouse, that later renamed Mr. Warehouse, Underwear Store, and the Toy Store. In 2002, because of the growing demand for internet sellers and high competition, Service Merchandise declared bankruptcy and ceased its stores. 3. Caldor.
Never heard of
In
them.
1951, while shopping at the e-store J. Corvette in New York City, newlyweds Carl and Dorothy Bennett came up with the idea of opening their own discount store that would be different from a post-war discount retailer. Their vision incorporated a number of factors that served as the catalyst for continued growth and success. The main focus of these items was on the quality of sales in addition to less expensive items, lower goods at prices 10 to 40% below the recommended list of manufacturers, and services at departmental stores such as experienced retailers, sales certificates, and return policy of open money. That same year, the couple spent $8,000 to open a 9,600-foot shop in a second-floor apartment in Port Chester, New York. They named it Caldwell, a combination of their original names. Specialization of heavy good products such as electrical appliances, electronics, household goods, and sports equipment for medium and non-profit consumers. Their motto, "Where shopping is always happy," was the Caldwell Group's way of life. Carl Bennett, who worked as a Connecticut salesman, was born and raised in stores. His father owned a small shop in Greenwich, Connecticut, where it was important to sell and inform customers. Bennett praised his father for teaching him the marketing power that he had used to lead his company over the years. 2.
Ames.
Ames.
There's two places I know so far.
Ames was one of the discount stores forced to shut down because of completion. In 1958, Milton, with his brothers Irving Gilman, opened Ames in Southbridge, Massachusetts, and later in 1971, the store was replaced with a modern store. Ames introduced a discount strategy to pull more business in smaller towns and rural areas of the Northeast. The company started serving a large customer base in rural areas, which was less competitive too. And just like a common business strategy says, less competition, more business. The store started growing faster. At its peak, Ames had more than 700 stores. However, a slow decline in sales resulted in 2 bankruptcies, and Ames closed in the year 2002. 1. Montgomery Ward.
Montgomery's still around.
Now at number 1, we have a company which was founded in 1872. Montgomery Ward was founded by Aaron Montgomery Ward, who was a U.S. merchant. Ward started the company with an initial amount of $2,400